celluloid, and we're turning it into music and podcast for you.
Welcome, everyone, to another fine episode of We Came From Celluloid. I am Nicky P, here as always with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brian Pritchard. How are you feeling today, Brian?
Sir, I feel like things are coming together.
I like when things come together.
I know, in all ways. In all and
There's a great George Michael song about that. We can come together. Now, his fare is perhaps different than mine, but to each their own.
Don't want to yuck anybody else's yum, as they say.
No, absolutely. So I'm gonna. You got me interested now. We're having rehearsal last night with the lineup of the band for the June show, and you're going at me like, "Hey, I gotta tell you, but I was gonna wait until the show." So, what the hell is this all about? You don't usually build suspense like that.
Well, it's true. Yeah, no, I left practice on Friday, and I wanted to help Connor make his new song real, and more real. And next step, of course, is getting some vocal stuff cooking. And so I thought it would be fun to include my friend. Connor is I would say for most of my life, actually, amongst my group of friends, he's definitely the most knowledgeable movie guy with the closest tastes to mine, who has put in the most hours watching stuff, right? So I was spitballing with him because he wrote the song. And anyway, yeah, without hyping it up too much, where we landed was Total Recall was what he suggested. He's like, I'd love to have a Total Recall song, right? And he laughs about the famous moment of "See you at the party, Richter," which is great. You know what I mean? Where he rips off Ironside's arms and stuff. But as I start thinking about it, I find it a way in, right? That's always the thing for me, is going, just like with Jurassic Park, it's like there's the movie, but then how do you get in there for this project? And what I got excited about is the sequence in Total Recall where he goes undercover in the fat suit. He goes undercover as a vacationing fat lady. And I was getting tickled by the notion that like he's this like super spy, and like this is his big plan. You know what I mean? He fucking loves this plan. That like he thinks he's nailing it, right? Like, and so I did end up coming with some melodic phrasing, at least for the A riff. There's I say 4 parts. There's sort of 3 main parts, and then this accent thing that he does, that Connor does, that like we start the song with the accent, and then it breaks up the song before we go back to the A and start it over again. So I have some ideas for that A. I have melody and words a little bit that are around that theme. And then for the accent part, not the opening accent part, but the middle accent part. If you've heard the song enough, we've got that section that just goes, don't, bum, 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 bum. It's just this like syncopated pattern that we do that breaks up the middle of the song. And in my wildest dreams, I was chuckling at just that sort of panicked moment where he's caught, and he's only the bodysuit. You can only teach so many phrases, right? Is sort of what you learn, right? Because he starts pulling his face apart and just going, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, right? So yeah, I think in that accent part, That don't bum 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 bum. That's what we need. Just go 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. But I don't. I can only impose my vision so much. So yeah, those are the loose ideas. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the first things that come to mind are, I mean, I got plenty of ideas where you can go lyrically with that. Um, that like there's a certain amount of Tropic Thunder in all of this for me because you have a worker or a super spy who believes he is a worker who believes he is a super spy who is now trapped inside a woman. So we're going like 4 levels of Inception into this, okay? There's also this wonderful concept of we're in a future so advanced that we have air on Mars. We've found a way to produce air on Mars, and have lifelike body suits that we can stuff people into. Yet somehow you can only teach them specific and like only certain amount of phrases. Like we can make them look completely human and realistic, but they can only say 5 things. Yeah,
Right. There's limitations, certainly in the technology.
like the limitations don't kind of make any sense.
So I added some longing to it because the A riff in particular is kind of a somber, slow feel. It's this kind of these like slow minor chords. So the initial words that I have is how much time do I have to get dressed? That there's almost this like sadness and frustration around like that the moment I'm thinking of is like a moment we actually never see on screen but must have happened, which is him actually suiting up and kind of just loving it. You know what I mean? Like he's excited about the mission. He's excited about the fucking, the fit, frankly. And oh yeah, so I guess I did have that in mind for one of the sections too. I had like in one of the heavier parts, what were the words? Yeah. Yellow dress, 2 weeks. It's exactly what a man needs. Red wig, what a dream. Ironside will never find me. And again, it's just to get the wheels turning.
Have you ever watched the Freaky Friday video with Chris Brown and Lil Dicky?
No.
Um, it's a video where Lil Dicky and Chris Brown switch bodies. They do the Freaky Friday thing. It's funny song. But like at the end of the video, he keeps like jumping into different celebrities' bodies. He's DJ Khaled at one point. He turns into Ed Sheeran, and then at the very end, he turns into Kylie Jenner, and then he's like, "I think I'm gonna go explore this and learn the inner workings of a woman."
Yeah, he just wants to hang out.
And like you have to wonder. It's like okay, you see, you have to wonder. Like I mean, I'm gonna have to find out these things on my chest how those work, right? Like I want to know. Gonna get what kind of time is he spending by himself? Obviously. Well, what else is there to learn?
Right. And so bodybuilder Arnold, you know what I mean? He's sort of like finding himself oddly comfortable in this place. You know what I mean? He's like, and to your point, he's in the middle of this bizarre identity crisis anyway, right? Exactly as you articulated perfectly.
Exactly.
Yeah, this construction worker who finds out he's a super spy, but like he's also trying to go on a vacation as a super spy with a sleazy woman. And, but then in order to accomplish that, he must become a woman,
Oh, I always laugh at the way you find your way in. Like, there's always like something that like something profound to look at, but it's off of like usually the silliest jumping point in the world. That's what I love it.
Yeah, it does make me really happy when I find it.
No, dude, I vaguely remember the song. We'll have to it's something we'll have to get laid down so I can get comfortable with it. But I'm excited to see where that one ends up going. So too many things in pre-production right now.
I haven't fucked with it yet, but I noticed a feature inside the Voice Memo app on the iPhone, okay, where you know, well, we can whatever. I'll show you in person sometime. It when you click on any given file in the lower left, there's like this blue audio line sort of icon, and to hit that icon literally says add a vocal layer, record another layer of voice. So it's letting you do fucking basic multi-tracking inside the Voice Memos. You know, I don't even have to go to GarageBand or go anywhere. I'm so fucking tickled by that. And so yeah, my ability to actually to take a quick one of the recordings we captured at practice or whatever, and just toss some of those ideas in there and be like, here, you know, just to listen to. I love that I could put that together in minutes now. Um, yeah, I find it quite charming as somebody who I used to carry around um like a Talkboy, like not quite the one in Home Alone 2. It was smaller than that, but it was still like a little handheld cassette tape recorder that I would use to capture riff ideas, you know. And then Max bought me a digital version of that I still have. I'm probably 8 feet away from it, and at some point it would be worth seeing what is even on there. Because I was using that digital recorder for probably 4 or 5 years, you know. So there's some stuff in there. But yeah, at a certain point now, for the last 12 years, it's all in Voice Memos in the cloud on Apple. Makes me nervous, you know. What if all that stuff gets wiped out someday? You know what I mean? But anyway.
Just a reminder, all cloud means is somebody else's computer. So you should always back it up.
Yeah, but it seems like external hard drives have like gone up like 1,000% in cost. That the parts now are becoming so rare that it's incredibly expensive. So hang on to your external hard drives, Nick and listeners.
I mean, mine is still at the studio, so
I know. We need to retrieve yours. I do ask him every time I see him. Um, yeah. I haven't gotten back to making.
it's whatever. It's a hard drive. I've got other hard drives.
Where are we at on Brown Coat Man? Speaking of which, I'd love to re-engage and with Seifert and send him some business.
Brown Coat Man is mostly in a just needs. I need to pull everything together. I got the stuff from Max, so I have that now. But I got to kind of layer all the tracks in there, make sure I'm not missing anything. It is a very very large um a large project at this point with a lot of things going on. And so my computer is being pressed to run all of it at once. So it's kind of that being, and I haven't had a ton of time to work on it with day job stuff being what day job stuff has been the past couple weeks. I don't know if I mentioned it on the episode, but yeah, I had Google delete a couple terabytes of information off of my computer, and the Google Drive has not been making my life easy for a couple weeks with stuff. I got it all back, but like now sometimes it moves around and sometimes just starts deleting things on its own for some freaking reason. So I got to be real kind of careful and pay attention to things in my Google Drive, which has made all of my personal work a lot more complicated and more frustrating. But it's a top priority to get that one wrapped up. This is gonna be on what we're calling 3 of a kind right now, right?
Yeah. I mean, in my mind, the one day I was driving around going like, is that one of those things that again is like stupid clever instead of cool clever? You know what I mean? Like, is it the sort of thing that like no one's gonna look at and laugh at like other than me? And I might be okay with that, but yeah. And all I'm referring to there, dear listeners, is that there's a picture I really like that has four figures on it, and I just, I thought it would be fun to call it three of a kind. And like the implication being like what? That like, well, who are the three? If there's four figures, who are the three? Like, I don't know. I like doing weird, goofy shit like that. So I think, yeah, three of a kind. Let's stick with it.
I like the picture enough that I don't care what it's called.
Yeah, cool. I thought about villains. I thought villains initially. Villains, monsters were other like single word titles that worked for me for it.
Villains is already a Queens of the Stone Age record. I can't go with that.
I know, of course, of course.
Three of a kind works fine for me. It's gonna be on there. We're putting Ray Ray, Jurassic Park, and this one, right? That's that the what we're going with.
My understanding is, or pitch, I should say, was that it was Brown Coat, Ray Ray, and the as yet unstarted Mr. Hand.
Mr. Hand, okay.
So where Mr. Hand is going to fit in.
Well, we better put some hard work on that one.
Okay, so the reason why that's plausible and not like an absurd suggestion is Max just bought a house. And just like we recorded all the drums as one of these final steps for the Westlake house he was clearing out for his folks, there's this window of time before he moves everything into the new place where he's like, let's go record some drums. We made a very, for me, frustrating discovery the other day. I was pushing to get a Dome song finished and recorded ahead of this tour. I was like, can we please? It's been, whatever. I'm trying to quickly even do the math. 17 fucking years, something like that, since we started album 3. Could we maybe release a single, guys? And then one of the sets of drum tracks that I had, I found out. Anyway, Max was sort of going like, hey, these sound bad. We shouldn't use these. And so I'm going to re-record some, what would actually be Dome album 4 material. That's how annoying that whole situation is. Album 3 is the one we started in, I think, 2009 or 2010 that we haven't released anything from. And we're now talking about re-recording the whole thing, tuned down a half step. But I digress. All of that to say, re-recording some drum tracks anyway would be a wonderful opportunity for me to go in and record some ideas. Mr. Hand doesn't have much. What it has is a cacophonous climax that, frankly, I've considered using like Aphex Twin style noise percussion in lieu of actual drums, but I'd like to record some drums for it. But yeah, Mr. Hat, we can absolutely knock out because it's largely an a cappella song. It's the world's easiest guitar riffs, and and the two fucking verses. There's a verse and a chorus, right? And a verse and a chorus, and a climax where finally the whole band kicks in and it gets real fucking low and right down in the low oil of it, and that's it. Yeah, Mr. Hand, 1, 2, 3.
For anyone who's curious, we should remark that Mr. Hand is actually based off of the theme song to this particular show.
It's not a theme song. I was surprised to learn that the show even existed. It's really just based on, and I think we did discuss this on an episode, but it's based on the moment inside. My God, yes, of course, of course. I got confused because do you remember that I found that weird YouTube shit of Mr. Hand actually having a spin-off television series? But yes, you're right. The whole kickoff was, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was all started.
I wanted to make a song off of the melody of We Came From Celluloid. That's true. Yeah, I don't remember if we talked about that or not, but you're right.
I don't know that we have talked about it yet, but yeah, no, I'm tickled that it's gonna have this other life as something different, and I just based on like what Brian sent me, like, and I think what's really incredible is that we immediately we both kind of I I understood exactly where the song was going to go and what it was going to look like completed, which is not always the case. You know, sometimes like this the fun part of, well, what do you see? What do I see? Like we've talked about in previous episodes. This is one of those ones where like I think I just listened to them like, oh, I get where you're going with this one. This is going to be fun. And it's always a fun moment to have. It's fun to it's fun to have the oppositional ideas sometimes. Sometimes it's just fun to know that we're all firing on the same cylinders.
Absolutely. And I'm so tickled that that little warm up song I was playing last night caught your ear. I would be thrilled to dive into that with you. Give you a demo to you know, swim in the waters or whatever for a little bit. Another thing I want to mention, just because I don't want to.
Well, I have some very specific things that I hear in my head when I hear that song that I want to see if you'll be willing to roll with, because I'm not going to say they're going to be necessarily different, but they're going to certainly be a different treatment of the material that I kind of want to see if you'll roll with, because like yeah, it was. I just immediately heard something in the song. It reminds me of I guess a style and genre of music that we don't. I don't know. I never know what we actually play. People tell me we sound like Coheed and Cambria, and I'm like, we sound nothing like Coheed and Cambria anyway. But whatever. We're a rock band. I guess there's that element of it. But yeah, I want to see if you're willing to follow me on some of the places I think that track can go. So it's gonna be an interesting, different kind of thing.
No, even without hearing it, like feel especially up for it. That song is one of those that has the potential to just end up being a throwaway. So the idea, that's where I'm saying even like that you like it, like because that song came about for like again just sort of a dumb throwaway reason. That there's a song, a Dome song called Collective Tear, that the opening guitar riff, don't even know how to best explain it, but it's like the opening notes. It goes, it's an open high E, and then whatever the note immediately below that is, which is the fourth fret on the string below it. So it's like that little half step difference. And that riff became one that I would always use to like test my tuning, and because like anyway, like that I got tired after like 20 years of always using that old Dome riff to check my tuning, that I wrote another riff that started with those same two notes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason I even like wrote that song. But like I do like it, but like I mostly only play it just to like check my tuning for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I only started doing that in the last like 6 months or something, that I just got bored with the old one and started doing this other one. And so, yeah, again, it's just that I like moments like that, whether it's like that you aren't always there and I don't always play that riff. And so like you being there to hear it and go like, let's not forget about that one. Potentially it turns into something that we both end up really loving and performing for years. Uh, or it ends up in the fucking 12 years of voice memos that I have, right? Where it's like, yeah, dude, there's another like 60, you know, seeds of ideas, little eggs like waiting to be hatched. So I love it. It's fun.
So the first thing I'll say is, I immediately when I hear it, what comes to mind is Doolittle-era Pixies, and that's not a band that I think we sound anything like. And so the idea of pulling in this like different genre of style even sounds great. But there's also things like, oh, So if we do Pixies, I'm gonna have to pick some epic '80s movie to go into. Just 'cause it's gonna have to work that way. Like, you don't do Pixies and do something else. So it's got me rolling. Like, what are we using here? What classic can we dive into? It's gonna work with the tone of that song because it's a very different kind of mood than we usually get out of you. Mostly 'cause it's not as technical of a part because it's, not obviously how you design that thing to be. So it's got my juices flowing in a fun way to do something different.
That's exciting. I like that. I like I don't know, the limitless branches and directions that the project can take. And um, the other, so the thing that I wanted to mention and just have on the record here and have in your mind, this is the sort of thing that once upon a time would have called and left a voicemail for you, right? It was thinking about Point Break and thinking about the moment in Point Break. My first pitch to Connor, which he was like, nah, I don't really know that movie. Let's do Total Recall, right? But my first pitch, so let's use it somewhere else, is specifically the moment at the end of Point Break. Spoiler alert for that, 25, 6-year-old movie or whatever it is now, 36 probably years old. I was thinking about the moment where he's walking away in the rain, right? Keanu throws his badge on the beach. Like Swayze's, he let him go. Like that's how that movie ends. Is that like he finally gets his man. He tracks him down, but Swayze's like, "You gotta let me go ride the big wave, bro." And Keanu does, and Keanu's just walking away, and he throws his badge in the sand. And that's what I want to write a song about. Is like what that moment feels like for him of like, again, like he loved that life. He loved being a surfer. He loved those guys. He loved being part of Swayze's crew, and he doesn't want any of it anymore. It's like he can't be a surfer anymore. He can't be an FBI agent. It's the fucking saddest ending in cinema history. It's like a hollowed out shell of a man in a jean jacket in the rain. It's a goddamn tragedy.
I that's almost perfect for where I wanted to take that because like I was thinking of that song similarly to Mr. Hand in the sense of it's gonna be a delayed heavy. I feel like it's gonna be when you get there, it's gonna be a very satisfying punch. So I'm excited.
Well, and yeah, maybe those roads intersect, maybe not. But Point Break came out in 1990 on the nose, so maybe it counts. Maybe it's saying goodbye to the whole decade that preceded it, that whole endless summer culture.
Oh gosh, it's so is that song entitled "Goodbye Endless Summer"?
I thought it was Jean Jacket in the Rain.
I have to like tie in some real world stuff to it. It takes too much thinking. I think we're expecting too much of our audience at that point.
Wet Jeans. Wet Jeans is the name of that song.
Fourth level of Inception, folks. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for hanging out with this week. Thank you so much. Tour is on. I recommend going to wecamefromcelluloid.com, checking out what we got. New music up. If you haven't checked out the new EP, the Outsiders EP, it is everywhere you can listen to music. It's awesome. We're very proud of this one. And looking forward to going and sharing the Puma Thurman love with the Midwest this summer. So, anything you want to say, Brian?
We'll save it for next time, brother. Great connecting with you as always.
As always, great connecting with you folks. Peace.
And we're turning it into music and podcast for you.